so much for joining us today. We are with Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, and we are so excited and thrilled that you've decided to hear a little bit more about our affiliate here in Pensacola. And I am thrilled to have my guest today, Mr. Sam Young, who is our new CEO. So Sam, thank you so much for joining me today. We've got some really exciting things to cover, and I want to start off with talking a little bit about your decision to come to Pensacola. So why Pensacola, and why Pensacola Habitat for Humanity?
Well, Pensacola is really a full circle for me. My professional career started here many, many moons ago when I arrived to get commissioned as a naval officer, and then I went through flight school here. And I've always had an affinity for this area. I love the water, the beach, the people, and the climate. So it was a great opportunity when I discovered that Pensacola Habitat was looking for new leadership. I threw my hat in the ring and was very fortunate enough to be selected. So it's great to be back.
You talk a little bit about that when you are out in the community speaking about you were looking for a challenge, and I think that a challenge is what you certainly got, because we've got some exciting things happening, right?
We do.
So can you talk a little bit about kind of your initiative to be able to serve more families here in Escambia and Santa Rosa County, and tell our viewers a little bit about our increased need that we're seeing?
Sure. Well, I think Pensacola is not unique in that perspective. Affordable housing is at crisis levels nationally. Rents are escalating. The opportunities for families to find an affordable first-time home are diminishing. And there are not that many organizations that are available to serve those families. So we are doubling down and trying to raise as much resources as possible to serve as many families as possible. And we're taking a number of different approaches, but at the end of the day, our mission remains the same, and that is to provide good, affordable housing to the families of Escambia and Santa Rosa County.
Yeah, and the families and individuals that we serve, that we're seeing, the increased need is just so evident. And I always like to talk about the people who we're serving. So, you know, we're serving teachers, we're serving first responders, we're serving, you know, families, early career. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about how we are going to reach these goals, these aggressive goals that you speak of, and how our community can come together for that affordable homeownership that we are providing.
Well, it's certainly, as you're alluding to, it's a collaborative approach. We cannot do this on our own. And we have funding sources that are somewhat organic, and that can provide a certain level, but we really need the support of the community, of our local businesses, and our local government if we are going to achieve these aggressive goals that we've put in place. And nobody is more important than the individual community members in that effort, whether it's coming out to help us volunteer. You know, I use the term time, treasure, or talent, and we will take whatever you can provide, and the payback to you, the individual, is remarkable. The feelings that you will have when you meet these families, when you accomplish the tremendous noble goal of providing a home to a family, and when you're waking up Christmas morning knowing that there's a family that is spending the first Christmas of their lives in their new home, it's really phenomenal. So everybody can play a role, and you can contribute your time. Certainly, we'll always take your treasure, but your talent as well. We've had a number of people provide unique services that have contributed to the mission greatly.
And there are many different unique ways to get involved with our mission and to kind of align your philanthropic goals with ours. And I always say that, you know, no matter what you're passionate about, housing kind of is the root of it all. having a place to call home, really affects every aspect of a person's life. And so some of the other unique ways that people don't traditionally think of when they are thinking about supporting Pensacola Habitat. Talk a little bit about our need for land.
Well, I mean, that's probably our choke point right now. We're competing in a very challenging market. Developers are out there picking up every parcel that they can, and then we're in a confined area. We have water on one side, so our growth is really just in one direction. So we are constantly looking for affordable parcels of land, whether it's individual lots or larger parcels, but we can't compete with the private market. So often individuals will donate land to us, and it's a great tax opportunity for them, but it's a great opportunity for us to bring down the cost of these homes for our needy families.
And when we seek partnerships with our community, talk about the power of our brand and the power of kind of associating your business with the brand that is Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
We've had a number of business approach us who want to do either in-kind services. They want to provide often free services, or a longer-term relationship that they can get involved. And the reason is, not only do they believe in the mission, but they have great confidence and trust in the Habitat brand. And Pensacola Habitat has a phenomenal reputation in this area. And if you're going to associate with somebody, you want to make sure you're associating with somebody that can provide that same level of trust and commitment that you're looking for on your end. Yeah.
And there's a huge return on investment. I mean, when you are selecting which nonprofits or which missions to support annually, I would definitely recommend checking out our sponsorship levels out, checking out our different opportunities, and we will hear a little bit more about those opportunities from Michelle, who will be our next guest. But I want to kind of expand a little bit on some of our other unique needs. Whether it is committee membership, possibly board membership, some of the other opportunities that are a bit more than the traditional volunteer opportunities out on the construction site, right, swinging a hammer.
That's right. It's not all hammer banging and cutting the wood. We have a lot of people that are deeply committed to this organization. The board is comprised completely of volunteer community members, many of which have been associated with Habitat for a very, very long time. We also have committees where, if you don't necessarily want to make a commitment at the board level, but you have some expertise, we can certainly apply that at our board committees as well. And we've had volunteers come in and just volunteer their accounting or legal services to us. So again, the opportunities are comprehensive, and we will never turn somebody away who wants to help Pensacola Habitat.
We sure will not, because we were built on, our volunteer base is crazy large, and we would be doing a disservice if we did not mention Miss Betty Salter and everything that we do. Do you want to talk about Miss Betty a little bit and her deep commitment?
Sure. I mean, I had the privilege of meeting Betty Salter when I arrived, and her reputation preceded my arrival. She is Pensacola Habitat. With her grit and determination, she started this back in the early 80s and has grown it literally individually to what it is today. We have built over 1,400 homes in the community, and everybody that's associated with this organization has Betty Salter to thank for that.
And I'm glad that you mentioned 1,400, because we did break ground on our 1,400th home last year, and coming into this year, it's really exciting because this is actually our 40th anniversary year. I learned that March 29th, 1981 was the actual day, and so we're going to be doing some things a little bit differently this year, just because it is such a huge milestone for us, to say that we are a nonprofit that's been in existence and doing wonderful things for this community for 40 years is something to be proud of. And so do you want to talk a little bit about anything exciting, other initiatives that you might?
Well, I mean, we've got a lot going on. We're trying to extend our educational curriculum component beyond our closing to keep our families tied into the Habitat family. Our goal is to create almost a ministry of Habitat individuals who are collectively pursuing the same mission. And even the homeowners, once they get acclimated into their home and become homeowners, they want to give back. And some of them are our biggest supporters, our biggest volunteers, which I think speaks volumes about the effectiveness of the program. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and I would just ask the community to stay tuned and get engaged.
Yeah, for sure. And I did want to say PensacolaHabitat.org has all of the information and more that you may want to know about, what it is we're doing, all the latest updates, upcoming events, program applications, anything that we're doing within community development, which we'll talk on a little bit more when Michelle comes on. But I wanted to kind of end with saying thank you so much for joining us, and you will not want to miss some of the great things that we're going to be able to accomplish this year. So stick with us, and we will hear from Michelle next.
Since 1981, we've built more than 1,300 homes in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. Love built this home, and love keeps it. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
love.
My biggest concern was my daughter's safety. I wasn't gonna invite people over when I saw what their homes look like.
I didn't know where I was gonna go, what I was gonna do.
We're in darkness, but there's always a little bit of light, and if people help, the light becomes greater.
Just walking into that house was the beginning of a different life.
Find your place to call home? Get started with Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. Call us today.
Welcome back, Crystal Scott with Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. Our next special guest is Miss Michelle Dumond, and she is our board member. She serves on our Resource Development Committee, and she is a longtime Habitat supporter. And so, Michelle, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Allowing me to drag you back in here and chat about things that you're passionate about. It shouldn't be too painful, right?
No, I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit about what brought you to Pensacola Habitat and what keeps bringing you back. What excites you about our mission here at Pensacola Habitat for Humanity?
Well, what brings me back time and time again is really an experience that I had when I first started volunteering with Habitat, and pulling together a team of women to volunteer. And through our experience, I think there's a lot of people out in our circles of connections that are struggling with trying to find a home, although that's their dream, but they struggle with the conventional means of trying to obtain home ownership and aren't aware of the program that we have. But through our volunteer involvement, we became aware of the Affordable Home Ownership Program. And when this individual within the circle spoke about that need, we were there to give that advice, and she became a homeowner. And just being able to not only spread that word, but to actually help build on that house too, and just imagine how she must feel when she walks in that door all the time. And it was just because of the experience that we had that we really changed the life of that individual and family.
And those moments, I mean, they're magical to say the least, but those moments and those experiences that we provide our volunteers and also our homeowners inside of our program are just that. They're so amazing. And you can't really go anywhere and talk about Pensacola Habitat and someone, oh my gosh, my brother has a house built by Pensacola Habitat. Oh my gosh, I volunteered on the house over on I Street. I built on that house. So Michelle, tell us a little bit about all of the different ways that the community can come together to support our mission of building homes, communities, and hope right here at home. We service Escambia and Santa Rosa counties, so talk about the different ways that people can support you and the different levels, whether that's through sponsorships or through individual contributions. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Certainly, there's many different ways that can occur. If it's individually, obviously, we're very humbled by any individual donations that can be made, and we try to make it easy. Obviously, you can always send in a check, but we also have social media outlets as well as the Habitat website. You can go there and make personal donations. But also on there too, if you like to become a member of our Square Foot Club, there's different levels of monthly commitment, but they start as low as $7 a month and they go up from there. So that's a really meaningful way to help individually. Also, there's so many different ways that you can contribute your time to help us with that. Corporate sponsorships are available in the many different events that we do also. We've got our big Habitat Food Truck Festival coming up. Corporate sponsorships are very meaningful to us, and that's a very well attended event, so you can really get your name out with the thousands of people that we have show up there.
Yeah, and Sam talked a little bit about the power of associating your business with our brand. It's just very powerful. So not only is it meaningful and it allows us to put on an excellent event, but it also allows for your viewers, your supporters to know that you support affordable home ownership here at home. And so what other events are there that take place annually?
We have a faith build that's coming up in the spring. I believe that's in May, and that's where faith-based communities, across the different religions and denominations can get together and build a home for an individual in our community. whether it's your talents at building or helping raise funds. Donations of Bibles, having a Bible drive is very helpful to us. With each home that we dedicate to a homeowner, one of the gifts that they receive is a Bible.
And I know that you had talked to us a little bit about some other ways to contribute to Faith Build, whether it is Sunday schools getting together. You mentioned the Bible drive. So these are kind of all ways, outside the box ways, to still support our mission of affordable home ownership, but unique to whatever you have going on. So, it's really all about you. It's not tailored to you, but really anybody can get together and support us. And so I wanted you to talk a little bit about the golf tournament, because you are very, very familiar with that event. So talk a little bit about that.
Yes, the golf tournament is an event that we hold in the fall generally, and it's very well attended. It is a lot of fun. So we're always looking for sponsors for that. Donations of baskets to raffle are quite helpful. You can buy tee signs, you can have a team sign up and participate in the event, but that's always a very successful event that we have each year to help raise funds so we can build another house.
And Exit Realty's role in that event is spectacular. We actually have commitment from Exit Realty International, and they provide the matching funds for that event. And so your $100, your $1,000 is doubled because of the support from Exit Realty. So I like to talk about that partnership because there is, again, another unique way to support our mission. Women Build.
Yes.
I love your Women Build stories. You have actually done Women Build more times than I have. And so talk a little bit about that and your involvement, your first year. What keeps you participating in Women Build?
Yes, Women Build is an event that we look forward to every year. We use it as not only to give back and help someone into a home to achieve that dream, but we use it as a team bonding experience also. So with the Women Build, you can sign up individually. If you work for a company, see if the company will provide a corporate sponsorship for you to build. There's also other corporate sponsorship opportunities available besides just putting together a team. But you don't need to know how to swing a hammer. You will be doing it, but you don't need to know how beforehand. We have classes that helps with that, but it is just so rewarding. I generally focus on the front of the house to secure that front door.
But each year when you come back, though, you learn a new thing about new construction, right? And so, just that, last Women Build last year, my mom and I were we were sealing the windows. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? But the year before that, we were, taking off. We had some extremely black fingers because of all of the times that we slammed our fingers. But it's just a really cool event and great to be a part of. So definitely sponsorship opportunities associated with that as well. I wanted to talk a little bit about the families that we serve and why people can feel good about committing to sponsoring a home, why people can feel good about supporting our mission. And so, our families are being prepped to become homeowners, and they are just that. They are homeowners. They pay a mortgage monthly. We, as Pensacola Habitat, service their mortgage. I think currently we have about 915 loans that we service internally. It's a big operation, Pensacola Habitat, and so people can feel good about providing monetary support, knowing and being confident that their dollars are being put to work, for the good of the community. And so there's not really a question in all of that I just said, but I did want you to kind of talk about any kind of special moment that you have experienced or something that may have happened recently that says, oh, Michelle, this is why Michelle volunteers on the Pensacola Habitat Board. This is why Michelle provides monetary support to Pensacola Habitat. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I think it just all goes back to the example that I gave in the beginning. I believe that home ownership is really the foundation for health, education, career readiness, and to make these individuals a very, very vibrant part of our community and to make our community stronger. And I think, a lot of people in our community, healthcare workers, teachers, first responders, sometimes, there's just a struggle getting the house through conventional ways. So just getting the word out and letting them know that there is a way for them to achieve their dream of home ownership and be able to walk into that house and know, hey, I've got me a study room. If you have children in school and so forth, just that stability. Mm-hmm. So knowing to, just to get that word out, and just through the, fact that I started building with a women build, and it just got bigger mm-hmm. because we got a team, and then it got even bigger, and now some of these individuals have homes to go to every day.
And so really knowing that your contribution is changing the lives of your neighbors, I think that sums up what you just described. And talking about monetary contributions and feeling good about that contribution, and knowing that you're supporting children and families and changing the lives of people in our community. And so if anything that we've said during this episode has touched you, if you want to know more information about Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, 850-434-5456, or you can visit our website, pensacolahabitat.org. I greatly appreciate you joining us this afternoon, this evening, this morning, whatever time it is, wherever this is airing, and I hope to see you soon.